Welcome to the next lesson in Unit 3. This is a two-parter. The first one is something called exponential regression. And so what you're doing here is you're looking for, there is a growth or exponential decay, and you're looking for the formula of it. So for example, a colony of bacteria grows exponentially. So you have a set of data right here, and the table below shows the data collected daily. State the exponential, see, it even tells you exponential regression equation for the data. So to enter these numbers into the calculator, you go to the calculator, hit the stat button, which is under delete. You hit stat. Option number 1 is edit, and you're going to go ahead and put those numbers in. So make sure to type it in correctly and hit enter after each one. And then the next thing you're going to do to find the equation is hit stat again, go over to calc, and now we're looking for something that says exponential or expreg. On some calculators it is 0. Let's see, on this one it is 0. Okay, so expreg, we're going to just go ahead and hit that button. And then L1, L2 is where you put your data, so all of that is correct. If you want it to be put into y equals, you can go here to store reg, and then hit second vars, or actually just hit vars. Go to y vars, go over to number 1, hit enter, and now what it's going to do is it's going to take it and put it into y equals for you, and then just go ahead and hit calculate if you or when you're ready. So now you're going to take this and you're going to round it to whatever they tell you, right? So it says round it, let me go back here, to the nearest hundreds place. So if I round it, 239.21, 239.21 is going to be the number out in front, and then my exponent is going to be 1.48. So I'm sorry, not the exponent, but the number next to it is going to be 1.48, and then this is going to be raised to the x power. So how do I write this? Y equals 239.21 parentheses 1.48 to the x power. So exponential regression has a variable in the exponent. Okay, it's a big thing to remember from that. All right, so that's the first part of the lesson. The second part of the lesson is knowing the difference between what is an odd function and an even function. So very simple, an odd function is one that if you were to take it and turn your paper 180 degrees in any direction, clockwise or counterclockwise, you would get the same function. It would look exactly the same way. So if I were to take this function that's here on the right-hand side, and again, I'm doing the odd function first, and I were to take my paper, rotate it 180 degrees, or take my computer screen and flip that 180 degrees, or take my calculator and flip that 180 degrees, I would get it looking exactly like this: down, left, up, right. An even function, right? So now we're over here. Even function is one that if you take the y-axis, that's going to be the line of symmetry, which means that if I were to take my paper and fold it along that line that I just drew, it's going to be equal on both sides, right? The right side is going to look like the left side, okay? All right, so that's very straightforward. So determine if the following function is even, odd, or neither. So the first thing we're going to do is go here. We're going to go to y equals, and we're going to graph the function. This is my function from earlier, so I'm just going to go ahead and clear that. So I have x to the third power, go to the right, minus 6x, and so now I'm going to go ahead and hit my graph. And okay, this is what I have here. So this is definitely not even, because if I fold it along the y-axis, the left side is not equal to the right side. So step 1, I did my graphing. So this is a no, it is not going to be. If I flip it, let me just go ahead and graph this over here. So I have something that looks like this, and on this side, if I go back, it looks like it might be odd. So I just did a quick graph. So if I want to verify this, one thing that I can do is we can look at each of the coordinates. So it does go through 0, 0. So if you look at this, this is 1, -5, right? So if I take both of those numbers, the 1, -5, and I make it the opposite, which is -1, 5, that point is also there. If I do the same thing here, right? 2, -4, make those negative or flip the signs, so that's going to be -2, +4, and that's what I have. So that means that this function that I have is odd. So again, you take your coordinates, so x comma y, and if you make it the opposite, which means you negate it, that function is odd. So this is an odd function, and the answer is yes to this one. Looks the same as it originally did, right? So if I took my paper and I flipped it, it would look exactly the same. If it was not there, and if it was like moved up here somewhere, and right, then it could be neither. So right now the original function is one that is odd, okay? Do this check for understanding and try the problems on Delta Math.